Trump has been in office. Romania actually said before they didn't want to let them out of house arrest. Now they're saying you could actually travel internationally. Their first plane or their first flight was to fly to Florida from Romania. Okay, so they flew to Florida. So Andrew Tate flew to Florida, and this was.
And developing right now at noon, the controversial Tate brothers arriving here in South Florida. They did so just a few minutes ago after leaving Romania. Now, this all comes after a travel ban was lifted that was previously imposed on the both of them.
Andrew and Tristan Tate, they are charged with human trafficking and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. Ocean's Rush, though, is live at Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport.
And that's where those brothers just landed within the last hour. A lot of people are talking about this on social media right now, Raj.
Wow, what a scene it is here at the airport. Coming over here for a moment, and you can take a look. We'll walk over here. Hold on, they're not coming out yet. But if I open the door here, you can see security standing there. We're expecting Andrew and Tristan Tate. Take a look at the security there to come out in a moment. Come over here for a second. You can see the sheriff's office here. Everyone.
Holy shit.
And you can see all the media over here as well, waiting on this. Now let's get to our video right now, and this is video from Sky 10. You're going to see Andrew and Tristan Tate getting off of an airplane, private jet. They flew in from Romania. Remember, there was a travel
Andrew and Tristan
ban on them. That was lifted. These brothers charged with human trafficking in Romania. They're now in Fort Lauderdale. They're avid supporters of President Trump, have millions of followers online. A lot of people wondering, what are they doing in South Florida? Remember, they couldn't leave Romania for quite some time. The governor, Ron DeSantis, just spoke about this. Let's take a quick listen to what he told us.
So now the governor of Florida, actually, who's a Republican, and some people feel like it's because Trump is in office why they got out. Trump obviously is Republican, but another Republican who's the governor of Florida wasn't that fond about the Tate brothers. Here he goes, which is Ron DeSantis, who was supposedly, a strong, competitor for Trump to actually win the Republican bid to be president.
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence.
Now, this is kind of crazy because Tate, whether you guys know it or not, both of the Tates they're American citizens.
That whether it's Pam
they just lived in Romania.
Or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
He coming back to you?
Okay, so that happens. Then the Attorney General for Florida actually says this. Listen to this. This is Attorney General for Florida.
Yeah, look, these guys have themselves publicly admitted to participating in what very much appears to be soliciting, trafficking, preying upon women around the world. Many of these victims coming forward, some of them minors, people can spin or defend however they want. But in Florida, this type of behavior is viewed as atrocious. We're not going to accept it. They chose to come here and set their feet down in this state, and we're going to pursue every tool we have within our legal authority to hold them accountable. So we are in the process today. We have secured and executed subpoenas and warrants, and we're going to continue to move forward with full force of law. This is an ongoing criminal investigation, and we're going to use every tool we have to ensure that justice is served.
So you've opened a criminal investigation?
There is an active criminal investigation, yes.
Do you believe that can you give me any details of what?
I can't comment on a pending investigation, but what I can tell you is if these guys did. Yeah, look, these guys have.
Okay, so essentially they're saying that the Florida Attorney General wants to investigate the Tates for even showing up here. And it says he's opened a criminal investigation. The Tate brothers that these guys have publicly admitted to participating in very much what appears to be soliciting, trafficking, and preying upon women. Now, Tate has came here and done a couple of interviews, including interviews with PBD. Let's see if we can find it. And, I do want to watch let's watch a little bit of it. Here we go. This is him talking about him landing in the United States.
How did it feel when you landed? You haven't been here for 6 years. What was that feeling like when you guys landed in the state? You were born here in D.C. What did that feel like?
It's amazing because we were supposed to have Wi-Fi on our jet. No one knew we were leaving. We get in the air, the Wi-Fi doesn't work, of course. So we had no idea about the fanfare. So we landed and Tristan's phone starts working. And then he says, wow, it seems people are very interested. It seems like this is a big, big, big story. I didn't expect it to be this big. I said, yeah, it is a big story. I'm kind of surprised as well. I didn't think anybody would even really care that much. And Tristan said to me, he goes, better this than nobody caring at all. And this is a very interesting point that my haters don't understand. Because I get so many of these conservative dorks, and they are dorks, these nerds. Andrew Tate's a bad guy, blah, 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 blah. Crying about me all of the time is the reason my brand is so big. It takes hot and cold air to make a tornado. And there's nothing more feminine than sitting there as a conservative influencer. I'm a conservative influencer, and he's so dangerous, and he's so bad, he's so scary. You sound like a girl. You sound like a girl. It's gay. It's gay. They make me sound like a mafia boss all the time, which is why young men go, well, do I want to be like the big boss who everyone talks about? Or do I want to be like this dude who talks about being afraid on his Twitter? My haters can't stop mentioning me. I didn't tweet for all that time because I didn't need to. The whole Twitter was me. I don't need to tweet. I just need to breathe and they talk about me. So they give me so much unlimited energy. If my haters had a brain, they'd stop talking about me, but they can't. They can't. So when I land and all these haters and senators and Ron and everyone's having a mental breakdown, I kind of just sit in the middle of it like, well, I mean, I guess I'm the main character, I guess. I mean, what am I supposed to do with it all? But you're asking how I feel. It's kind of interesting because it was such a whirlwind and it's still such a whirlwind now. And I know I have to go back in a few weeks. No feelings have really come to light as of yet. I don't feel any. No, I don't feel relieved.
Reminisce, family, memories. You and Tristan by yourself. Hey, man, this is kind of cool. 6 years, nothing.
There is an element of that, but how do I say this without sounding psychotic? Let me try not to sound crazy because my haters have enough ammo. Let me try not to sound psychotic. Part of me will be disappointed if I don't go to Romanian jail. And I know this sounds nuts. Maybe this is a coping mechanism. I don't know. We can all talk psychology. When you're a man and every single government in the world is after you, maybe you cope by thinking, well, if they do win, I'll get a cool story. Maybe that's coping. I'm being honest now. We can talk to Dr. Phil. Call Dr. Phil. I don't know. But I was so certain that we were cooked. I was like, no one beats these people. You can't beat this. This is a fucking...
That's kind of interesting. He's admitting that he thought he was done.
Set up. And they're going to rig the next election like they rigged 2020, and they're going to set us up, and we're done. We're toast. I was so certain that I was cooked. I kind of, in my mind, was like, oh, I'm cooked. And now I'm not cooked. I'm like, well, I don't deserve to be cooked, which is good. But it's a very strange feeling. I just hadn't prepared for it. I don't know what else to say. It's really weird. It's really weird. But I was disappointed by my welcome. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to train Ron. We're going to be okay.
Tate, we've interviewed you a few times. But
so that's him reacting to Ron DeSantis not fucking with him. Man, I'm going to be honest with you. If you ask me what I think about the whole Tate situation, and it's interesting, and I'll make a hip-hop segue here. I feel that since Trump has gotten elected, everyone is waging the last stand war on woke. Everyone. They're like, yo, we don't like woke. If you are in this woke, and what is woke, right? Woke is like this really black and white, almost like soapbox, like, hey, you said this, you said women can't drive. You're this misogynist. You're the worst person to live on earth. Woke is you say men shouldn't be able, if they're a transgender, to play in women's sports. You are transphobic. That's what woke is. Woke just gives you these labels that is to basically devalue anything that you might have to say that might actually have some credence. Not saying it's always right, but just it kills the conversation. Oh, you're transphobic. Oh, this and third. Women can't drive. Oh, you're a sex trafficker. And I do think that we're seeing this take place now. I think Kanye, the reason why he's been going off, he thinks this is the moment now where a lot of the wokeness is time to bring some of that back and destroy some of that. Trump has talked about it. And I think Andrew Tate, he's one of the people who he felt attacked by some of this woke ideology, is saying, yo, that's probably one of the reasons I'm here now. Now, it's kind of ironic, and this is where the hip hop element comes in, because I feel as the world is probably trying to bring down some of that woke ideology, I think in hip hop it's gotten worse. In hip hop, the place where people have laughed and celebrated people's deaths, if there's a cool song about it, they have talked about and encouraged violence or selling drugs to the community. Now we're in a place, and it's a few people's fault, but whatever, we'll get to it. These days, it's, hey, we're the morally good people, and those are the morally bad people. And that's the wokeness that we're finding in hip-hop. Hip-hop has gotten woke. It's really interesting. Hip-hop has gotten woke as the world and the U.S. is fighting to revert to a place of nuance and a place where woke doesn't control itself, doesn't control the masses. In hip-hop, it's all about, well, this guy has a weird case. Newsflash, everybody had a weird case, if we really want to speak about it. Well, this guy sold drugs to kids. This guy supposedly killed someone. This guy did a murder for hire. This guy over here, like the entire hip-hop landscape is so interesting as we're kind of watching this, because hip-hop is the most imperfect place. Hip-hop is the place where you see the killers, the murderers, the drug dealers, the thieves, the robbers. You see them all come here with stories that pretty much, some people could either empathize with or at least could see beyond what they did because there's some redeeming qualities. But these days now, we're in the time where the world is getting less woke and hip-hop is getting more woke. Right? Oh, this guy, we think he did this. Oh, Metro Boomin, he has a weird case. Like, before, these things would not be really discussed like that. Unless it gets to a point of complete litigation, right? And I feel like this is a decent segue. We're almost at 3 hours. I know this. I'm doing it a little bit earlier. But we're in this era now where people kind of look at, and this is what I mean by woke. What woke always does, woke drops a labeling on you. You're misogynistic. Then they, and this is what hip-hop has kind of like been that or been getting there. Like, I would tell Meek, yo, Meek, you show up to my crib, nigga, I'm smoke you, nigga. Like, that's what will happen. Nobody reports on it. Everybody be like, yo, he only talks crazy to women. He's misogynistic. The idea of saying someone's misogynistic is a way of saying, yo, just ignore this guy. This guy is like a really bad person. Because no one in their right mind would agree with misogyny. Just like how now we're in this place where this idea of someone has a weird case, someone's a sex trafficker. Like, once you say that about him, yo, this guy is A, B, or C, people just don't even give a fuck anymore, right? It's a good segue. I seen Van Lathan post this, and actually, not gonna lie to you, I think what he said was actually right.